Hello, leadership cohorts. Welcome to my presentation, Climbing to Leadership Success. I'm Stephanie Merritt, RN, and current student in the F&P program at South College. 20 years ago, I never could have imagined that I would be involved in anything to do with leadership, but the journey has been interesting to say the least. I hope you find this presentation engaging and interactive, so take a break for the next few minutes and enjoy. During our studies in this course, we've learned that leadership is essentially influence. Leaders engage others by sharing their vision or goal and then inspire others to follow them in pursuit of that goal. We are halfway through an advanced practice nursing program, and if you're like me and you've never been in a formal leadership role, you might be wondering if you have the skills to become an effective leader. Even if you do currently hold a leadership position, I like what John F. Kennedy had to say, and that is, leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. This time next year, we'll still be nurses, but we will be preparing to step into the role of advanced practice. Yes, I know, it's exhilarating, but maybe just also a bit terrifying. We will be leaders, we will share our visions, and we will influence. But more importantly, will we be effective? Anything worthwhile requires focus and commitment, and that's what strengths-based leadership is about. Learning to invest in and develop people and teams who are driven by sincere enthusiasm to deliver high-quality healthcare. We've learned about many different leadership styles. So what is strengths-based leadership? What makes it different? The short of it is, strengths-based leadership is concentrating more time on developing strengths and not weaknesses. This mindset increases successful outcomes and evokes feelings of motivation, competency, and satisfaction. This sounds like a reasonable plan, but don't mistake this to mean all of your time should be spent on strengths. Time must be spent on improving weaknesses as well to ensure a balance of professional development is achieved. Lack of professional development opportunities are often cited as a reason for job dissatisfaction and high turnover rates. Strong leadership, partnership between management and employees, and advocacy for meaningful career opportunities ward off feelings of job dissatisfaction, boredom, and departure. How does a leader cultivate strengths-based leadership in their organization? Effective leaders will do three things. Number one, invest in strengths, their own strengths and those of others. Everyone we know has strengths and weaknesses. It's counterproductive to believe that any one leader or team member possesses abilities that are all-encompassing of every situation, or that one person can handle any challenge or opportunity that comes along. This thought process creates an environment of frustration and feelings of failure. Individuals who work to improve existing strengths replace frustration with motivation and growth. Achievement produces self-confidence. Number two, effective leaders maximize their team. Self-awareness grows trust between team members. Trust stimulates collaboration. When open communication and transparency are practiced, team members feel secure to rely on the strengths of one another and to bridge gaps of weaknesses. Cohesive teams are full of diversity. Finally, number three, understand followers' needs. Followers who feel their needs are heard and valued will participate in organizational transformation. They feel engaged and will support leadership. They will be committed to shared goals and assume shared responsibility for outcomes. You are only an effective leader if people follow. Now that we know what strengths-based leadership is and what effective leaders look like, how do we integrate this model into our own leadership style? By discovering and developing our own skills and ability. The StrengthFinder assessment was developed by Donald Clifton using positive psychology or strength theory and aims to identify the top 5 primary strengths of participants. Those strengths are then categorized under 4 domains of leadership strength. Remember the idea that no one person possesses all abilities? A well-rounded, strong team will include individuals with skills from each domain. A successful team is a balancing act of individual strengths working in a systematic way to achieve a shared goal. Literature supports that strength therapy is a great benefit to professional development and encourages users to apply their strengths to everyday life and work. I scored highest in adaptability. According to strengths-based leadership, people strong in the adaptability theme prefer to go with the flow. They tend to be now people who take things as they come and discover the future one day at a time. Adaptability has been defined as the capacity to constructively regulate behavioral functions in response to new, changing, and/or uncertain circumstances, conditions, and situations. Okay, guys, time for a pop quiz. What are the 3 things effective leaders do? Invest, maximize, and understand. Invest in your leadership strengths. Maximize your team with people who have strengths from all 4 domains, and understand, which in other words means make connections. I'll admit, for me, adaptability seems like a double-edged sword at times. School is a great example. Some of the structure required to be a successful grad student is difficult for me to maintain. Yes, I'm adaptable, but on the other hand, I dislike routine and focusing on one thing for too long. I've noticed that when I focus on my weaknesses, such as a strict study schedule, it leads to me feeling defeated. Investing in your strengths allows you to get more things done. Goals are accomplished. You feel good, you make progress, and achieve success. All this adds up to self-confidence. Confidence allows resilience and the ability to push through, even when we do feel defeated. A study of engineering students in India found personal growth comes from positive adaptation. Learning insight through adaptation leads to growth. Being courageous enough to acknowledge failure is also attributed to positive adaptability and growth. During my reading for this assignment, I found this list of skills, and I agree, these are pretty inclusive of what I enjoy about being an emergency room nurse. Adaptive people often enjoy shorter-term assignments and thrive in new moments versus long, drawn-out projects. I do well with responding to constantly differing requests and situations in the emergency room. I also found a study correlating the importance of adaptability when responding to cardiovascular emergencies. A survey of critical care pharmacists revealed that during response to cardiac emergencies, adaptability is the second greatest strength required for clinical leaders. Communication is the first. Adaptive people become fatigued by activities they find irrelevant and boring, such as planning and meetings. They dislike environments with the same operating procedures every day that require lots of rules and controls. Planning, meetings, procedures, rules, those all sound like leadership qualities, don't they? Then how does adaptability fit into an effective leadership model? A defining characteristic of adaptive leadership is the separation of technical solutions, where we apply existing knowledge to problems, from adaptive solutions, where we shift people and look at relationships and how people interact. What does that look like in clinical practice? Well, to address patient-centered care, adaptive leaders help providers look past the technical solution and examine their relationship with the patient. After all, patient-centered care is individualized and respects the patient's needs, wants, and preferences. In other words, patients are more than a sum of a diagnosis. Adaptive leaders support environments where providers can nurture patient relationships and challenges providers to think beyond technical solutions. Examples of technical problems are new methods of surgical procedures or new protocols for treatment guidelines. Providers easily navigate through those types of technical solutions. With adaptive problems, new ways of thinking must address each problem individually. Remember, patient-centered care is individualized. Patient needs, wants, and expectations are individualized. Issues that are also involved are social, cultural, and economic factors. New approaches must be taken to adaptive solutions. Trial and error, owning mistakes, building trust, open communication, and emotional intelligence are keys to effective adaptive leadership. My greatest theme was adaptability, and I chose adaptive leadership style to go with that because they complement each other so well. My other 4 themes that were found were responsibility, harmony, deliberative, and relator. I just want to touch on those 4 themes and share what relationship styles I think fit best with those. So the first one is responsibility and authentic leadership. Authentic leadership uses positive psychology to influence follower attitudes and behavior. It also highlights authenticity, honesty, and ethics. The authentic leadership follower performance relationship promotes follower adoption of responsibility by changing self-view and high team identification, dedicating themselves to the duties of the team and realizing shared goals. Secondly, the theme was harmony, and I chose affiliative leadership for that. Affiliative leadership style promotes harmony among the team. This style connects people. It encourages conflict resolution and inclusion. This style of leadership places high value on the emotion of others, and it emphasizes teamwork. The 4th theme identified for me was deliberative. And I chose distributed leadership style to go with that. I think they complement each other well. Distributed leadership refocuses the concept of leadership from an individual approach to a more distributed approach. This style of leadership is about position. It's more about engagement, action, process, and practice. Distributed leadership allows leadership by expertise instead of experience. It requires trust, communication, and respect. This style is widely used in education, and literature proves a positive correlation with distributed leadership and organizational improvement. And finally, the last theme that was identified for me is relator. I chose transformational leadership style to go with relator because they are both so relationship focused. Transformational leadership seeks to continually improve relationships with others. This style of leadership can build relationships that inspire motivation by relating to others and creating trust that is built on morals and ethics. Transformational leaders connect by creating a vision that promotes a common goal. Working toward a common goal enables feelings of commitment and success. Open communication and individual attention allow transformational leaders to build trust and relate to the needs of their followers. What is the key to successful organizational growth and positive outcomes for all stakeholders? Effective leadership. This presentation has examined the framework of strengths-based leadership and the steps leaders can take to integrate this model into their organization's structure for the purpose of building meaningful relationships that inspire others to work together toward their common goal. I found this quote that I thought was a great ending to this presentation. Great leaders are not defined by the absence of weakness, but rather the presence of clear strengths. I hope you found something of value today, something that you can implement to strengthen your daily practice. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a great day.